Hey everyone, welcome to Crypto Conversation, and this is your host Shiv. Thank you so much for coming back. And we're going to talk about some serious topic today, which is SegWIT 2x. So SegWIT 2x, which is scheduled in 9 days from now on 15th of November, and there are many concerns related to SegWIT 2x. The two of the major concerns and the major risks that we have right now is one of the security of the network. After the SegWit 2x, will the network be as secure as it is right now? Right? Because let's understand the only reason of the Bitcoin price today is because of the security of the network. People know that it's a trusted network, it's a secure network, and nothing will happen. And that is why there have been a price boom right now trading at about 7,200 US dollar, dropping from 7,500 to 7,188, right? So, are we risking the security of the network with SegWit 2x? That's the first concern. And the second concern is, are we centralizing Bitcoin network? Are we centralizing Bitcoin protocol? Now, that's again of a major concern because the strength of a Bitcoin comes from the security of the network and also because of its decentralized nature. Because the decentralized nature, ensures that the Bitcoin network is not manipulated. It is not, the power does not, lies in a handful of people who can actually manipulate things, right? And centralizing is also not a good thing because when you centralize Bitcoin, then it's prone to attack, it's prone to government regulation, it's more prone to everything. And the reason Bitcoin has survived so far is because of these two reasons: the security of the network and the decentralized characteristic. Otherwise, Bitcoin would have been dead long time back if it was not decentralized. Because there have been efforts like Bitgold and many others. Because of its centralized reasons earlier, it did not survive. The reason Bitcoin is surviving right now is because of decentralized nature and the security of the network. And these two are the major concern right now, and that can result into a huge price crash. And that is what I want to share this with you all today. And there have been many companies which have withdrawn their support from the SegWit 2x as well. So these are the companies which have taken their support out, as you can see here, is withdrawn. And so this article is basically written by Whalepanda, who also tweeted that this is my final thoughts on SegWit 2x before actually SegWit 2x happened. So let's understand who Whalepanda is. So this is his post on Medium, which we will go through. But let's understand first who Whalepanda is and why this article even matters. Why should we even care about this article, right? So if you go on whalepanda.com, now this article itself has got more than 424 people who have lauded this article, including one of the person from India, one of the co-founder of India, Zeppe. And if you look at the kind of companies which have taken withdrawn their support, is one of the companies also Unicoin from India. So and that is why I want to share this with you, that this can be of highly importance. So who Whale Panda is, you can check him out on whalepanda.com. So Whale Panda came to fame when he was endorsed by Nick Scabo, and I don't know how do you pronounce his name. And so Nick was once upon a time was claimed to be the real Satoshi Nakamoto. And the reason he will say that, and he says that Whale Panda is one of the most credible people whom I have come across when it comes to opinions on Bitcoin and other decentralized assets. And he is also one, he also titled him as the president of Bitcoin. So yes, so his Whale Panda's opinion definitely matter, and that is why we are reading this article right now. And this article does make a lot of sense. So let's understand who is the Nick Scabo. So I did a little bit of Google. Nick, so as you can see, he's a computer scientist and legal scholar and cryptographer known for his research in digital currency. And he was the founder of BitGold also, which for some reason didn't work out because of some centralized nature or some stuff. And then when the Bitcoin came out, lot many people thought maybe he's Satoshi Nakamoto because he has already invented BitGold, which failed because of some centralized nature or some double spending, which was resolved with Bitcoin, and that is why it has survived for 7 years and will survive forever. So let's go through this article here, my final thoughts before SegWIT 2x. And he also ensures in the written, so he's saying that Bitcoin is SegWIT is an attack. It's not an upgrade. It's not an upgrade on the Bitcoin network, but it's rather an attack on Bitcoin network. But at the same time, he also says that Bitcoin will survive this attack as well. But he makes a point that let's not support the people ever in future who are supporting this SegWIT 2x, because they are in short attacking SegWIT 2x. It's not a support, it's an attack. So something to think about. So here he writes that I know it's too early for my final thoughts post, but considering that I'm traveling next week, I wanted to do this post now. And I do expect some things to still change between the time and this article is posted, the actual fork date. I expect some more companies to back out. Bitso, for example, realize that there is no community behind 2x and that it is not an upgrade, but rather a split. So something to think about, guys. I mean, a lot of people are still waiting for their free SegWIT 2x, but this is definitely a concern that we should be aware of, right? So one of the reasons he says that is the financial incentives. So a lot of people will do this because of the financial incentives. So he writes that we're just going to be very brief on these points. I'll leave the link in the description below so that you can go ahead and read that in detail if you would like to. So one of the reasons of the SegWIT 2x is the financial incentives. It says that the core developers own Bitcoin and most are working for free on this great open source project, which means that their financial incentive is doing what is best for Bitcoin in the long term. So they are motivated by not with the thoughts of making Bitcoin better protocol, but by the financial incentives that they will be receiving in terms of free Bitcoin SegWIT 2x, like what happened with Bitcoin Gold. Whoever forked Bitcoin, they have Bitcoin Gold, whichever number, like 10,000, 1 million as a free money, right? So a lot of these folks, behind these folks is the motivation behind them is incentives, but not the real ideology, not the real thought of making the Bitcoin better. That's what he thinks. That's what his first thought is, which makes a lot of sense to me as well. Let's have a look at the second one, the slow blocks after hard fork. So some people say that the people will abandon Bitcoin if it slows down significantly until the next difficulty adjustment. Never heard of hodlers. Traders have Bitcoin on exchanges unless they are arbitraging. They don't need to move Bitcoin around. Most hodlers have their own coins in cold storage. So you have two kinds of people. One is a trader in Bitcoin community who trades, and the other kind of hodler like who hold Bitcoin, and they would rather hold Bitcoin in a cold storage and they don't do anything with the Bitcoin on a regular basis. So for them, it can be annoying because for 2 months they won't be able to transact or things like that because of the security of the network that comes along with the SegWIT 2x. And the third one, he says that a chain with the most accumulated difficulty is Bitcoin. So thinking as a clueless 2x CEO, so all we need to do is have minus mine a few days and everyone will call it Bitcoin 2x. So there was a debate earlier, if you remember, that people want to call SegWIT 2x as the real Bitcoin because it will have more support, but that's not the case right now because Coinbase also said that we are not going to do that. The real legacy chain will be called as Bitcoin and not Bitcoin 2x. And the other one will be called as Bitcoin 2x. And of course, because the support is now being withdrawn from the SegWIT 2x, there is no chance ever that the SegWIT 2x will be the longest chain anymore. It's going to be the Bitcoin. So, and that is why he says that it is an attack on the Bitcoin network, but however, Bitcoin will survive this attack as well. So, and the fourth one, which is a very important one, he says that this was never about scaling. So he writes that the first point, there is no 1 MB and 2 MB. This is just a false information. There is no block size anymore. It's a block weight. Anyone calling it 1 MB and 2 MB is either intentionally trying to spread false information or just totally clueless, doesn't know what's going on, right? So he says that it's not about 1 MB and 2 MB at all. And yeah, so here he says that while the SegWIT 2x proposal, yes, we like to call it a proposal even though it is an attack. So as you can see clearly, he mentions that it is an attack, specifically mentioning SegWIT, and main argument for pushing the proposal through was scaling, having less issues with the users and customer support. And fifth and the last one is says slow down development. Each hard fork puts extra pressure on the development teams, engineers, or Bitcoin companies. They have to make sure everything is safe for their company and provide their users with the ability to withdraw coins from the other fork. Bitcoin Core lost working on really useful scaling features because they implemented some features to kick 2x nodes off the network. So Bitcoin Core is one of the company which is not supporting SegWIT 2x. So this is a very powerful article. He also has put his final conclusion here that this is just not another Bitcoin fork. This is just another attack against Bitcoin. It is a big one this time, but Bitcoin will come out stronger once again if it survives. So guys, this is a very important article. I would highly recommend you guys to go ahead and read it and share with your some of your people whom you know can give you an opinion of what will happen. So here it talks about centralized nature of it. Do you really want to give up your financial freedom and independence and put it in the hands of a couple of VCs and CEOs? So SegWIT 2x, he's calling SegWIT 2x of equivalent to giving your independence financial freedom in a few handful people like VCs and CEOs. So this is the article which is of definitely concern as to what is happening in SegWIT 2x. So this is another, you can go ahead and read it. The companies which are supporting SegWIT 2x and supporting, and the companies which have withdrawn their support, and companies which have now moved to Bitcoin Cash, which were earlier in the New York agreement. So I found this very interesting and at the same time of a huge concern. Do let me know what you think about this entire SegWIT 2x scene. Do you think the prices will crash? Do you think the Bitcoin network will be as secure as it is right now? Or will everything result into positive, giving away everyone 1+1 Bitcoin and having a good positive impact? Will the price go positive or negative? Is what I would like to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video.